Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Gittin, page 9, which discusses a situation where you have people who want to be witnesses for a divorce document, and the only problem is they're illiterate. They can't even read. So in this, the Talmud tells us, unlike any other document, when it comes to a divorce document, a get, we, the courts, will read the get for them so that they know exactly what is written on it. And not only that, it says that what if they don't even know how to sign their own signature? Can you imagine? They have no idea how to even sign a document. So we can't sign for them. So what we'll instead do is we'll make certain cuts in the paper which will be their actual name. So we'll make different etchings and cuts into the paper which will form their name. And then all we're going to do is we'll give them a feather and ink, and they'll be dipping it, and they will be able to fill in those holes that we created, so that after they end up basically tracing that which we already did, so that'll be their signature, and it will now be a valid document. The witnesses now know what's written on it because we read it to them, and also it's a good signature, even though they don't know how to sign, because we basically had them connect the dots. Now this is an unbelievable thing. In fact, the Talmud tells us in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel that this is exclusive. This is only when it comes to a divorce. When it comes to Gittin Nashim, only here will we be lenient. However, when it comes to any other document, we will never allow this to occur. We're not going to allow someone who is illiterate and who can't even sign a document to be a valid witness. So the question is, why when it comes to a divorce are we going to be lenient? This is a serious situation. In fact, we know that when it comes to a divorce, if it wasn't done properly, maybe it's not a valid divorce. She's going to marry someone else thinking she's divorced, have children, and then it's a huge mess. It's a huge problem. So why are we lenient over here? So on this, it's explained that there is a concept of an aguna. One of our biggest concerns is what can happen to this woman. What happens in the event that this is the only divorce document and then the husband leaves? He goes to another country and he's nowhere to ever be found again. So all of a sudden, if we would say, I'm sorry, these witnesses aren't valid, they don't know how to write, they don't know how to sign, then all of a sudden, we're going to be in a situation where she will never be able to get remarried. She can only get remarried under two circumstances: if her husband died, or that there was a divorce. Now, the problem is, what happens if he goes to another country and we don't know where he is? We will not know when and or if he died. So because of that, she's never able to legally get remarried. So therefore, because of this, we're sensitive to this issue. And we say, we are not going to just say that this is not a valid divorce. We're going to be as lenient as possible to figure out any possible loophole to get around, to be able to make sure that this divorce document, which the man does want to give, but maybe he'll be gone tomorrow, we want to make sure that we can do this. We do not want to procrastinate. We don't want to start getting strict, because if we start getting strict, maybe there will not be another get. Maybe this husband will just flat out refuse, and then it becomes a whole drawn out thing. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to help and to complete the situation so that there's closure. What do we see from here? Once again, in this Talmud, in the discussion of Gittin, which seemingly is all on one side, it's the man giving it to the woman doesn't have much control of the situation. The sages, the rabbis, the men are not out to hurt the women. On the contrary, they're thinking about how can they make sure that she is able to get divorced. This shows the sensitivity, the empathy that our sages had to make sure that a woman should never be in a situation of being in a guna of not being able to get remarried.